Welcome to Courtside Talk. This is the Power Rankings. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Matt. We got Peter Atwa, Storm Fitness Owen. What's up, bro?
What's up, team? It's your boy, Mr. Fat to Mr. Fit. We back at it again. We got the answers with the Power Rankings. Let's
Let's
go, King.
go. This is week 10.
Hmm.
And, you know, we would like to ask you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be giving you guys the power rankings and the MVP ladder weekly on top of additional videos you'll see in the near future. But yeah, let's get started with number 14, the Dallas Mavericks. I think the reason that this team, they moved up in the power rankings, but I think they're becoming a little predictable. There's teams that are doubling Luka. They're figuring it out how to play him because there's so much focus on him. So I think that the bench really needs to step it up and the supporting cast in order for the Mavs to really be a top five or contending team. What do you think?
I definitely, I want to see more out of this team. I get people are getting bored of this team, but this to me is still the scariest mid team I can imagine. Like of all the teams
I
that are just
agree.
like mid tier, they're still the scariest because they got that guy Luka. And when it comes down to playoffs, when the game slows down, double, triple, he's just a guy that gets it done no matter what. During the regular season, I think this is what we're just gonna see, right? No matter what type of personnel comes in and out, they're just gonna keep slapping it onto Luka. The whole squad is just gonna try and beat up Luka, and they're just gonna try and make their other guys do everything else. And Dinwiddie's got to step up, Wood's got to step up, but they're not the greatest guys, so they'll probably be mid till about playoffs. So expect to see more of that. Sorry, Texas.
Yeah. We'll see. Let's move on to number 13, the Utah Jazz. So I'm not the biggest fan of the Utah Jazz. I think I don't know. I don't know if it's about the franchise or I don't know. Maybe it's just the actual state from what I see from a distance. I'm not even fucking sure. But, this team, to me, they're blowing smoke. I know they have a winning record right now. They're 2 games above 500. But when I look at some of the bottom teams and I'm realistic about a playoffs, and I see Golden State not in the picture, Los Angeles Lakers not in the picture, the Wolves, these are the teams that are like below them. Like I think eventually those teams are going to climb up in the power rankings and Utah is going to be one of those teams that are going to drop out of the top 15. What do you think?
Honestly, I think Danny Ainge is a guy. I think he's the type of guy to do something crazy that nobody really expects. And he's usually a thief. He's usually a really, really big thief. So come trade deadline, I either think the Utah Jazz are gonna blow it all up, go from about 500 to bottom of the league, or they might go the opposite way where they might trade some pieces, find a disgruntled star, and try to go the other direction, try to go up. But I think it's more likely they're gonna go head down. Danny Ainge is just gonna rob some poor GM at some point. Yeah, man, somebody's getting robbed. I don't know who, but somebody is getting robbed by Danny Ainge, bro. It's just what he does.
All right. Let's move on to the next team. Number 12, the LA Clippers. They got their stars back. And it seems that Paul George and Kawhi back in the lineup has really helped, bring this team to more fluidity. They are pretty much doing everything wrong offensively, but they play pretty good defense. They have one of the worst offenses in the league, which is interesting. I guess it's because, you know, Reggie Jackson is getting a lot of touches. John Wall, um, Norman Powell. Like it's not like in today's NBA, it seems like this is not really a team that could keep up if they don't have their stars. What do you think of Clippers? Do you think they're going to keep moving up?
Honestly, they got a lot of good talent. So I disagree. So I think they have a lot of good talent outside of their stars. Like Paul George and Kawhi are great when they're in the lineup. I think the issue is a good problem. They have too much, right? So they're at that, like, they're floating around that mid tier. I think what are they, like 5-5 in their last 10. Morris, Powell, John Wall, like Zubats, all those guys that fill their roles are just like, they're just better. They're a little bit better than good. And I think that's kind of the issue that they have, even when they're all healthy, is that everybody has to play, and everybody's better than good. And at some nights somebody doesn't get to play, and some nights everybody that's active does get to play. And I think that kind of reflects in that 5-5 record. Again, I think they'll turn it up as the season goes around. Guys are gonna wake up, and maybe they'll have a kumbaya around the fire one time and realize who's got to play and who's got to sit down and just take the lumps while the team ascends.
Yeah. This is a team that should be top 5. So, they should climb up this power rankings.
They got to figure it out, man.
Yeah.
They got to figure it out.
Number 11, the Portland Trail Blazers. They dropped a little bit, but they're still 4 games above 500. Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons is a crazy connection. Nurkic has been playing much better. They have a supporting cast that's actually helping with Hart and Jeremy Grant. It seems to be a team, and Sharp, I guess. He's a good rookie. Yeah, I like the Portland Trailblazers. I don't think they're gonna be a team that makes a playoff spot for sure. I think they might like fight in a play-in tournament situation. But I like that, shout out to Damian Lillard. He got his flowers last night, even though they did it in a loss. Like, he is the leading scorer for Portland Trailblazers history, which is crazy to do it so quickly. Yeah, what do you think of this team? Do you think they're a playoff lock, or do you think they're gonna have to fight for it?
This team is one Dame injury away. One Dame injury away from the bottom, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're right. I think they made some good moves to make this team a little bit more viable. But again, they rely so much on what Damian Lillard does for them, because he's
so true. It's not sustainable.
It's not. I don't like he does everything. He plays so many minutes for them. It's just, and you see it at the end of they do so well 3 quarters, most of the fourth quarter, and then come crunch time, like, the man is bust, bro. He's tired. He's tired from doing everything. He's tired from carrying the squad, and those guys are great, but again, they need some sort of player to carry some sort of offensive responsibility. Like, how like CJ would play make a little bit. Like, Anthony is a great ball handler, but I don't really see him as a playmaker. I see him as a great scorer, but I don't really see him carrying the load for that team, putting the team on his back and just kind of just pushing through some possessions the way Damian Lillard does.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's
tough.
tough.
I think this team is gonna fight for a play-in tournament spot. I think
if Dame gets hurt, they might drop out of the play-in, dude. They might
for sure, 100%.
They might drop out of the
play-in. 100%.
If Dame gets hurt, it's gonna be ugly. Y'all in Portland, just, oh man, keep seancing with your herbs there. Just keep praying Dame don't get hurt.
All right, let's move on to number 10, the Brooklyn Nets, back to winning ways. So Kyrie Irving hit a nasty game winner against Toronto. This team is really showing that they can contend. I think that was the question mark in the beginning of this year, was, losing James Harden and, Ben Simmons in the mix. Like, is this going to work? Like, it looked like they were scaling back to the point where, very similar to the Lakers, where they can't really be called contenders, even though they have big superstar players. So it's nice to see that, Brooklyn winning important games too against bigger teams. I think that's the important thing that we can take away from this. So again, I think, I'm a huge Brooklyn Nets fan. I'm rooting for them. I want them to win the championship, personally, but
I do not. Yo,
why not?
Listen, I don't know why you're like this, bro. F the Nets. They're on a 6-game win streak. Whoop-de-doo. This is what they were supposed to do, Matt. This is what they were supposed to do. They built this elite broken roster 3 years ago Was it 3 years ago? Was it 4 years? It's been so long that they've been worse than they should have been, and then now they're finally like getting some success, bro. This is a six
Yeah,
game
but they
regular
need
season.
Kyrie. Ben Simmons isn't doing shit on the floor.
This
You
is a
can't have.
6 game
You
regular
have to have
season. I'm
KD and
downplaying it.
Kyrie for this
I'm
team to be
downplaying it.
dominant.
I'm downplaying it. I'm downplaying it. I want them. I want the Nets to lose. I'm a hater. It's better to be a hater. I
Nah, that's
want the Nets.
cool.
Sometimes it's
That's
just better
cool.
to be a hater. I want them to lose. It's distasteful. They're not likable. They're not likable. Okay. Kardashian curse. I want that back on Ben Simmons, bro. Bring that back. Bring that back.
All right, number 9, the Sacramento Kings. You know what? I think very, very similar to the case of the Utah Jazz. I don't think Sacramento's a team that could really hang.
Why not? No
I
way. Nah, man. They're doing good.
They're doing good. They're doing good, but I think this is just a good stretch. Again, at the end of the day, they have incredible offense. I think Sabonis and Fox are definitely clicking. The Sporting Cast is doing what they got to do, but like to close games, this has always been the issue with this team. I don't really know if they're gonna keep closing games. Like we'll see. They have a pretty easy schedule with Charlotte, Lakers, and Washington. That will be really like I think if they don't take care of business this week, they're dropping out of the top 10. I see this team like I don't even know like I think the Blazers have a better chance at the play-in tournament than the Sacramento Kings. I'm just keeping it real.
No, I disagree with that because I think that the I think Sabonis as a playmaker is very important. Like his defense is crap in comparison to Nurkic, but in terms of helping out his guards and making plays when his guards are bust, he helps out a lot. And we're seeing that right now. De'Aaron Fox had an incredible start to the season, and he just obviously scaled back a little bit. He's cooled down a little bit, and they were able to carry their success. Why? Because guys like Nurkic are not Nurkic. Guys like Sabonis are proficient at making plays off their guard and in that like big man guard, like forward guard role, kind of like how Jokic carries down the Nuggets, kind of like a baby version of that. It's great to see. It's great to see the Kings like do well. I want to see like Fox has got to bring it back up, and that's the thing. He kind of declined a little bit, and that's why I feel like the Kings could be for real. Because look, like you traded Halliburton to make space for De'Aaron Fox to be that guy. Now he's got to consistently be that guy. It can't be 1 week on, 2 weeks off, 1 week on, 2 weeks off. You got to be that guy and carry through close games. You got your support. You got your playmaking big to make it easy for you when you're tired. Now, when it comes to those last few minutes, you're young. You're in your prime, right? You're not Damian Lillard playing 40 minutes a game and doing everything, every play. You got to get it done. That's where I'm at with De'Aaron Fox and the Kings.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see. Some of these teams that are surprisingly in the top 15, like we'll see if they keep playing this way. Moving on to number 8, the Philadelphia 76ers back to winning ways. They got Harden and Embiid back. I think they were really hurting because Maxey, Harden, and Embiid were just like 2 of the 3 of them were always injured.
Maxey's not even back yet.
He's not back yet, but I think, between the 2 superstars, that's more important to have together to, keep this team in like contention. So they've been playing better, honestly, ever since they got James Harden back. They've been playing much better. They have one of the best defense in the league, and Joel Embiid has
Embiid is that guy, bro.
Yeah.
That
Embiid
clogs
is
up
a
the
big reason
entire.
why.
Yeah,
I think at the end of the day, I think he'll be a defensive player of the year candidate. I don't know about finalists, but I think he'll be a candidate for sure. This team is a contender. I honestly see this team as a top 5. They're 8 right now. I expect them to be in the top 5 here at Courtside Talk in the next coming weeks. What do you think?
Yeah, they stayed just barely there while all of their guys were injured. You know, they had to overplay some really big scrubs like Harrell, and now they don't have to do that, right? They got their elite stars back in the lineup. They got one of the best pick and rolls in the game. Holy, watching James Harden and Embiid is it's unstoppable, bro. It's really it's a problem. Like they didn't even get Maxi back, and they've won their last 5 games. They're holding it down. Every game that they have lost as of recently, before that 5 game win streak, was close. It was a nail biter. And when they get Maxi back, it's only gonna get better because they won't have to play guys like Shake Milton so many minutes, right? Like the upgrade you get from Tyrese Maxey to Shake Milton is crazy. It's a big difference. Like Tyrese Maxey was a guy who was
Absolutely.
cooking in playoffs, right? Alongside Harden and Embiid. So just like you
Hey,
said,
he was looking like an all-star before he got injured. Honestly,
yeah,
Tyrese Maxey.
yeah. He struck like there were some games where it was like him and Harden were kind of having like that ego back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like yo, like let me cook or let me help you cook type of deal. But like it's good to see them get it going. And when Maxi gets back, it will get even better. They'll be up there. They'll be up there as the top league, probably the 3rd seed, 2nd seed in the East.
for sure, for sure. All right, let's move on to number 7, the Denver Nuggets. All right, they dropped a little bit. They still have a really good record. Jokic has been playing amazing. Obviously, we're gonna speak about him more in the power rankings, but to have 40 points, 27 rebounds, 10 assists, I think he will go up there. And he might take that triple double record. Him and Luca look like some of the young stars that are really going for that all-time record of most triple doubles. Jamal Murray is still trying to find his groove. This team has a good supporting cast around Jokic, and obviously Jokic makes everyone better. Bruce Brown's been playing off the charts in terms of efficiency. So Michael Porter Jr. is also chipping in, I believe, from what I understand. So
Is he back from injury, Michael Porter Jr.?
let me see.
I think he's still hurt.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's still hurt. Jamal Murray's been getting back into stride though. It's good to see him,
He's been
back
out.
off. Yeah, back off that
He's been out.
ACL. Yeah, that's Michael
But
Porter
that's
Jr.
why Caldwell Pope and Bruce Brown have been playing so good, right? Like
Unbelievable. Yeah.
again, this team's so used to not playing with him. Like it makes sense.
The thing is the game plan. Everybody is religiously committed to the game plan, right? The
Mhm.
game plan is simple. The game plan is we're gonna let Jokic make these plays. He sees over he's a big guy. He's a point guard in a 7-foot body, very patient. He sees over the defense and he lets the play happen because he's patient. And whoever steps into that role to play minutes, he just makes them a viable option because you don't have to be amazing to play next to Jokic, right? You can run and gun, and he's going to find you open every time. If you're just running the plays and you're cutting, you're setting those screens, the ball is going to find. If you're moving in positions to score, the ball is going to find you because Jokic is that good at moving it.
Yes, sir.
On top of that, he's putting up 30. He's putting up 30 on top of that. So it's not hard to get open next to a guy who draws so much attention at his size in the middle of the entire play. Like he's always at the top of the key or he's down low under the basket in the paint, draws so much attention. It makes it really easy for guys like Bruce Brown, guys like KCP, guys who otherwise on other rosters you wouldn't even be talking about because they wouldn't be getting 5 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? And even if they did, they don't have guys like Jokic making them average better than their potential.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. So again, this team I think we'll see them still remain in the top 10, and they're definitely a top 5 team if Jokic keeps playing MVP basketball.
You were just arguing with me about dropping KCP in your fantasy league. When was the last time we had arguments about KCP being a viable fantasy option? You know what I'm saying? It's been
Laker
a
days.
while.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to number 6, the Phoenix Suns. Now, I know Phoenix Suns dropped a bit, but to me, this team's still a contender. I still see this team as being a big threat. I think at the end of the day, like just Chris Paul and Booker, like if they're healthy, they always are a dominant force. I like how Josh Okogie has stepped up lately. Um, He's been playing pretty well for them. I'd like to see Aiden be a better third star. I don't even like I can't even call him a star. He's just he's a very frustrating player to me. Like I want to I haven't seen like he why did he peak in that playoff run where they went to the finals? I've never seen him play at that level even for a stretch of games since that time. So um
You know
again,
what you know what it is with him? He's just so emotional. Like when things are good, they're really
yeah,
good.
him and the
Things are
coach Monty, like they didn't talk the whole off season. That's a long time.
yeah, man.
So
Like,
Suns got booted early. So
even watching him play this season, it's like when he's on a roll, he's chatting shit, he's talking, he's engaged, he's playing defense. And then like when the ball hasn't seen when his hands haven't seen the ball in a couple of plays or he misses a couple of shots, he's just non-existent. He
yeah,
just disappears. And it's like, yo, how can you be that emotionally unavailable when things aren't going wrong for you? Like tighten up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's
absolutely.
where
I agree with
that's where
that.
Chris Paul and Devin Booker do a great job of, like if you're gonna sulk, you do that over there, and we're just gonna keep cooking in our 2-man game. You
Yeah, it
know,
definitely didn't affect Booker. He had 58 points the other night. He was too much.
facts.
He's been honestly like I think he got that NBA first team nod last year and he's
He
been
just
kind of
realized
just
he's him.
yeah, he's been just playing that top tier basketball since where he's like, like a top 10 player in the league. So again, for NBA all first team, you're arguably top five. Obviously, it's more like the best in your position, but he plays like he wants to be Mamba, which
Yeah,
I can
light
respect.
skinned Kobe over there.
All right, number 5, New Orleans Pelicans. So this team had a really big run, and they were put pretty high in the power rankings. You said that this was sustainable.
I still think so, man. They still have Brandon Ingram coming back.
Mhm. I just don't see them like I could see them being like a top 12 team, like between 8 and 12. I don't know about top 5 all season. Again, the NBA right now is very competitive. Obviously, anyone can beat you at any given night. Even like a team like OKC could give you the work just because SGA is playing just vintage basketball. He's playing like top 3 shit.
So you
Um
think the Clippers will finish above the Pelicans in the standings in the regular season? Because right now the standings are Memphis, Nuggets, Phoenix, Pelicans, Clippers, and 5.
I think New Orleans, I mean, hey man, like give them credit. They're 18-11. That's actually a really good record. But
And I think it's gonna get better because they haven't even played with
yeah,
Brandon
we'll see.
Ingram
We'll see.
in a
We'll see when
minute.
Ingram gets back. Obviously, Ingram is such a positive force for them. So I guess it's hard to judge this team right now, given their potential with Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 4. This team is not ceasing to impress and surprise people. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 20-11. I think Evan Mobley was the final piece of the puzzle, kind of getting a rhythm between the stars. I think Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Garland have been pretty consistent. And Mobley, you know, him stepping up has really impacted the team in a positive way. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be spoken about in the MVP talks a little bit. I think him and Garland are both all stars along with Jared Allen. This team honestly deserves 3 all stars if they can keep up this type of play. Do you think that this team is a lock for the playoffs? And more importantly, do you think they could actually be serious contenders.
100%. Donovan Mitchell has found Spider-Man has found his Mary Jane, bro. This is the perfect squad for Donovan Mitchell. And on top of that, he was trying to still figure out Mobley's game, and him and Mobley weren't really clicking. But Jared Allen sat out for a couple games. They got a few more reps in him and Mobley, and Mobley is now waking up. Right, they haven't even unlocked Mobley yet, and to have two elite scoring, playmaking guards like Donovan and Darius Garland, and you love to see Darius Garland just like this used to be his team before Donovan came, and Donovan came is putting up 30. He's just letting him do it, and he's embracing it, right? And you love to see that as great guard teammate plays. I want to see them get better. Their problem is their small forward position is bad. Like CD Osman is not good, and I feel that might make them struggle at some point in the season. They might be candidates for a trade at that position, and that might mess with their chemistry too. And you might see them hit a lose streak, but I just think this team is too good to fall out of that like top five in the East. I think they're going to be there. They're not going to be in the play, and they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a playoff team, not a play-in team. They look like winners right now, and it's crazy. I love to see Cleveland gain some, real contending chances after LeBron James.
You think they'll
So
trade one of their big men for a small forward?
I don't think so. I think they've created a formula that, like, for example, the Minnesota Timberwolves are trying to adopt with Gobert and Cat. So it's working for them. I think they're gonna keep riding it because they've had some losing ways. I think they want to try to keep this up as much as possible.
Then I think this team is getting bounced in the first round until they find a trade that works for them to get that small forward. I can't lie. That's tough.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, number 3, the Milwaukee Bucks. They kind of stayed where they're at. They're a top 3 team in the league, and I'm not mad at that. I think Giannis does need Middleton to come in. I think he doesn't even need Middleton. 21-8 is incredible. Joe Ingles is coming back. I didn't even know they had Joe Ingles. This team is really looking good with Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez playing. If you own them in fantasy, and you're playing 11 cat, you're seeing them both in the top 30, top 50. Bobby Portis not in the top 30, but they're playing really good basketball. Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen. This team is strength in numbers. I think this team is undisputably top 2 in the East. Again, their eyes are on the championship right now. I think they play good defense, and they have a very solid defensive identity. I think at the end of the day, I think their offense is not elite. I think if they have an elite offense and defense, that's what's going to lock them in to be the best regular season team, but also that championship team. What do you think?
Oh, championship team is exactly how I would put it there, because you have a guy like Giannis right there in the middle and gets it done with whoever's around him. And just like we were talking about earlier, why I think Cleveland is going to struggle is because in the East, all of the top teams, you got a Giannis, you got a Kevin Durant, you got a Jimmy Butler, you got a Jason Tatum. That small forward position at the top teams in the East is stacked. And that is the reason why I feel like Cleveland's going to get bounced. It's the reason why I feel like the Bucks are going to do so well, because not only are they stacked in that position, but Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, like you said, strength in numbers, man. They're stacked deep into the roster, and Chris Middleton hasn't even been activated yet. As he gets better and comes back from injury, he's only going to make Giannis an even more dominant force, right? Having that elite spacer next to you really opens up Giannis's game even more than it has been, which is crazy to say because he's already one of the best players in the world. You get Chris Middleton back. You have Drew Holiday playing as one of the best point guards in the most underrated best point guards in the league, continuously night in and night out. Grayson Allen, a little bit streaky on the offensive end, but every night, he's bringing that intense energy on the defense. And then you have Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis playing beyond their ceilings. You know, Bobby Portis 69, shout out, overall fantasy rank. And Brook Lopez also in the top 50 in the season. He's stroking that thing from deep. Yeah.
Don't fucking kill me. All
Yeah.
right. Let's move on to number 2, the Boston Celtics. They were the best team in the league in last week's power rankings. They dropped to number 2. Jason Tatum missed a game. They have the best offense in the league. Robert Williams, when he gets a rhythm, I think this team is going to climb up the rankings defensively. To me, this is the best team in the league right now. I think they're putting the league on notice. I think last year they went from 11th place to first place, so it was a little bit of a Cinderella story. I feel like they've kind of solidified themselves through their superstars and their strength in numbers. Like, come on, man. Brogdon, Smart, Grant Williams. They have so many different, like Al Horford. They have so many different players. They're really like, they remind me of the Clippers. They're like the Clippers of the East when it comes to like, and when it comes to
Clippers of the
like
East, but
10,
they're
11, they got 10, 11
oh
guys who
yeah.
could really strap in.
Yeah, but their young stars are young and healthy, basically.
Yeah.
And,
And that seems to be the most interesting difference. But I think, it's kind of tough, but yeah, it's true. Their stars are younger.
I think this team is an upgraded version of the Clippers because like having guys like Brogdon and Derek White and Marcus Smart, those are three point guards, right? And on any other team, those are 3 starting point guards, right? So they have
Yeah.
guys that can come in at the end of the shot clock and make it happen no matter what.
And play defense too.
And play defense. I was just gonna say their defense is so good that they are trying new schemes on defense that like other teams don't really operate. They activated Sam Hauser and they just have him running some switch in the paint and running some ridiculous contests from the paint on a scrubby 3-point shooters and then just doubling the paint presence. And they're just trying new things. And because that team is so good, it works. They're trying new quirky things. They're just making it work. And it's just they have so much talent that they have that ability to try those new things and not really not really fear that if it fails, that it's going to reflect in their record, right? So they can continue to try those new things and getting better.
Yes, sir. Number 1, the Memphis Grizzlies. I actually disagree with this. I would put the Boston Celtics at number 1. I love what the Grizzlies are doing. I love how they're closing games. I love how John Morant is like a true leader for this team where, forget competing in the West. This team is just like, it's crazy to see how quick they've become like contenders, like legitimate threats. Dylan Brooks has a big, he's a big contributor in terms of defense and setting the tone. Desmond Bane's a stud. This team is looking like a team that, they could get to the second round for sure, but can they play in the conference finals and championship round? That's kind of the big question mark. It looks like they kind of proven in the last 2-3 seasons they could hang with the best of the best in the regular season. Do they have enough players? Even though like a player like Tyus Jones could come in and just give you 20 minutes and give you incredible stats and efficiency, like is that enough against the top teams in the league in the playoffs? I don't know.
The Memphis Grizzlies are my dark horse. The Memphis Grizzlies are my dark horse in the playoffs this season. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of have to disagree, man. I kind of like the Grizzlies. I think John Morant is that guy.
As the best team in the league, though?
As
John Morant's him.
Top 2.
I'm not disputing that.
Top 2. I think that them and the Celtics are gonna go back and forth. And when Bane gets healthy, we're gonna have that conversation of best duo John Bane versus Tatum and Brown. John Bane versus Tatum and Brown would be a pretty legitimate argument if Bane was actually playing this season. I would actually believe because before he got injured,
he was putting up ridiculous numbers, stupid numbers, right? And they didn't even have Jaren Jackson back at the time, right? Bane got injured. Jackson came back healthy, and it was a little bit of a switch up. But now you're just waiting on that moment for them to just get Bane back in the lineup and see this team at its full potential. This team is not even at its final form yet. The Memphis Grizzlies are not even
Jeez.
at their final form
Yeah,
yet.
shout out Jaren Jackson Jr. too. He's coming
For
back.
real.
He's looking like a monster, bro.
This guy has more blocks than centers who have played every game this season as starters.
Facts.
And it's crazy.
Facts.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Love
man.
to see that. It's the perfect combination with an outlet heavy guard like John Morant. You have a nice center who's crazy athletic, who holds it down in the middle, and John Morant just takes off.
He's fucking him, bro.
Yeah, it's hemi behavior on both ends from Ja and Jaren Jackson. Love to see that. I can't wait for Bane to get healthy and get in that lineup. So you can see them compete in the power rankings 1 and 2 all season with Tatum and Brown. You know, you're gonna be a believer at the end of the season.
Okay, I actually think the Bucks are gonna take. I think it's gonna be the Bucks and the Celtics 1 and 2, but we'll see. We'll see.
I think Bucks stay. I think Bucks stay third. I think Bucks stay third.
We'll see.
I feel like people are tired of the Bucks. That's the only
reason. For sure.
They want some fresh sauce in there. They got the drip.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that closes this week's power rankings. Thanks for tuning in. If you're still watching, you're fucking awesome. Thank you for watching Courtside Talk. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and support the channel.
And let us know who your favorite squad is in the comments below.
Yes, sir. Let us know. Also, we got the power rankings coming, the MVP ladder coming out later next week. That race is getting really spicy, so make sure you check that out. Courtside Talk, we out.
Ouch, yeah.